Velvet Boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, cool cats, bad mamas, hustlers, heroes, bloodsuckers, detectives, funketeers, and kung fu queens. You are now tuned in to Black Death, Blaxploitation 101 podcast. 1 year deep and we're still on the scene, talking mean machines and the baddest queen. From Harlem streets to the midnight show, we break down the films that made the culture glow. This is more than a podcast, baby. It's a revolution with rhythm. Now let's get into it.
Welcome to the Black Death 101 podcast, where the streets talk and the reels roll. We dissect our favorite blaxploitation films that saved Hollywood and still influence it today. I'm your host, Nubius Black, and giving him 5 on the right-hand side, my brother from another mother, Johnny Death. What's up, my man?
Oh man, I am in a great mood today. It's good to see you there. You know, guys, this is our anniversary for the past year.
Yes,
we
sir.
have traveled through the wild, groovy, stylish, and outrageous, not to mention culturally important, world of blaxploitation cinema. We've met heroes, villains, detectives, vampires, vigilantes, hustlers, and some of the toughest women ever put on film. And you know what? Today we're going to look back, do something a little different. Look back at the movies we covered during our first year, given credit where credit's due, so that we can queue up our next episode, which is going to be the Black Death 101 Blaxploitation Citation Awards.
Yes, sir. These films, they're not going to get the Academy Award. They're not going to get the Emmy Award, but they will get the Blaxploitation Citation Awards that we created because we feel that strongly on this subject. I want to say again, this has been 1 year. I'm glad to have Johnny Depp as my co-pilot in this endeavor. You know, his insight in these films and my recollection of things that I've been through, as well as he, when watching these films. I mean, we can't let these films die. It's so good to have someone that has the same mindset and have the love for this genre of picture. It's not really like we're making fun of these films like a lot of people do. These films are very important. These films inspired a lot of great directors, black and white. You know, it put a lot of people to work where a lot of people wouldn't get work. Today, you'll see it in a lot of films. You'll see a lot of blaxploitation sprinkled in there. You know, you see that if you pay attention and listen to what we're trying to sell you, because it ain't a hard sell. These films actually sell themselves. And I'm just glad to have the fans along. You know, we want you to like, subscribe, and share. You're driving to work. What you got to do for 40 minutes? I think our show is going to be good enough to get you to get to where you're going. And when you're there, you may not want to get out the car until we're done. That's our job. We're trying to entertain you as well as educate you. I'm glad to have Johnny Depp as my co-pilot. We're going to talk about these films that we've seen throughout this first year, this anniversary of this show. I'm glad to have all you cool cats and funky mamas out there to ride along with us. A lot of the categories that we came up with for this Blaxploitation Citation Awards, such as like, we're going to just go with something like this. Best Actor, Male. We're not going to tell you our picks until next show. You're going to be able to vote if you wish. You can go on Facebook. You will be able to go to YouTube and put in who you think is the best actor, male.
Best female, best pimp, whatever you want, vote for it right there in the comments, right here on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We will make sure that your comments and your votes, whatever you love, gets funneled in to what we are doing, because we want to know.
Yes,
For you guys.
And we're not a group of two. We know there's more than just us two out here that love this stuff. And if we pick you out of this group, give me a t-shirt size and an address, and we will send you a free Black Death 101 podcast t-shirt. Free. If anything, at least you get a t-shirt out of it.
You can always reach out to us at blaxploitation101@gmail.com. That's how we'll get your address from you because we don't want you putting it up in public.
Right.
I have to say, Nubius, I remember the day my wife called me and said, Johnny, call Nubius. He wants to do a podcast. We spoke, and the rest is history. We met on the turnpike at a rest stop and hammered out the first show. What can I say?
We were
Thank you,
connected because
man,
we
for
were
thinking of me.
literally finishing each other's sentence when we were coming up with the whole idea and the whole concept of this show. And I think we have something special. You know what you know, and I know what I know. And we put that together, and we hopefully come up with something entertaining. All of our original songs, being the bumpers,
Yep.
being the intros, being the extras, they're all original. I'm so proud of that. Then when you threw in the graphics with the cartoons, yeah, because let's face it, today's attention span for the average fan is limited. They have so much media to consume, so many options. So we're just glad you're rolling with us. And with that, who do you think, we talk about the Black hero, the male hero, the archetype. Let's talk about some of the heroes we met throughout this year.
Which hero stood tallest? Which villain was the most unforgettable? Who had the best clothes, the best fight scene, the best soundtrack, the best performance? Who deserved to be named the best film we've covered so far?
My
Let us
favorite,
know
the
your
best white
favorites.
stereotype.
Yes. For heroes, man, we could start at the top. You
Yeah.
got John Shaft, the cat who
Bullseye.
practically invented walking music. Richard Roundtree, John Shaft, a Harlem private eye wrapped in leather, confidence, and enough attitude to make every sidewalk his personal runway. When a mobster's daughter gets kidnapped, Shaft moves between gangsters, militants, cops, and crooks without ever surrendering his independence. Gordon Parks gives the picture grit. New York City gives it muscle. And Isaac Hayes supplies a soundtrack so mighty it changed film music forever.
You can't tell me that when you walk down any street in New York City, especially if it's Times Square, that song is not in the back of your head when you're walking down the street. I know it's always in the back of my head all the time. I'm sitting there listening to, are the strings gonna kick in? When I'm walking down the street. And between walking down that street and thinking of Shaft music, I think of Tommy Gibbs taking that shot in the
Oh.
gut. I think Tommy Gibbs, you could put him in the category of hero, you can put him in the category of villain, and you can put him in the category of anti-hero. Tommy Gibbs from Hell Up in Harlem
Black
and
Caesar.
Black Caesar. Oh my God. He is so, dude, Blaxploitation films are so rich with these characters. Tommy Gibbs, you want to hate him, but he's so charismatic that you're going, man, this guy, you find yourself cheering for him. Or Shaft, you knew he was the good guy. He was an unorthodox good guy, yes, ex-cop, but he was a good guy. Tommy Gibbs was from the street, went to jail, got fucking treated like shit, got out, and fucking started killing his way to the top. And you're going, this guy is all right with me. And the music, again, second to none. You got fucking Isaac Hayes for Chef, but we had James fucking Brown in this movie, man.
Oh,
Everybody
there's a
keeps
cost
forgetting
to be
that.
the boss.
Yeah, pays the cost to be the boss. Oh my! And you hear that bass in the background again. You want to walk down the street and act like you own that shit in a fucking nylon suit. Tommy Gibbs was the fucking man as well. Sideburns, well coiffed, well dressed, well spoken, and knew the system. I mean, we could go on all day. What do you think about the working man's hero? Truck Turner.
Absolutely. Truck Turner is one of my top 10 movies of all time, anytime, every time I put it on. I just get hooked into it. I got a guy at work who tells me that when he was in college, that's what they used to get drunk and watch every weekend in the dorm. Truck Turner, Isaac Hayes, the bald brother with the gold chains and the frickin' intense attitude, and he has warmth,
Right.
something you almost don't expect.
And you don't get that warmth from Tommy Gibbs, but you do get it from Truck Turner with a name like that. You can see there is a human being under all that male bravado who cares for his woman and cares for a fucking cat. You're a cat guy, so this shit hit you hard. I'm a
Yeah,
dog
Isaac
guy.
Hayes trades the piano bench for a shoulder holster and a 44 fucking Magnum. He's a bounty hunter. He's Mac Truck Turner. He's a hard driving cat who can chase a criminal. He could survive an ambush.
He's a good friend.
He's a great friend. The prototype buddy cop movie. And
Exactly.
the real hurricane in this movie, though, is someone that I've got to nominate for best villain. Nichelle Nichols,
Yeah.
Lieutenant Uhura as Dorinda, a
The-
foul-mouthed madam who puts a contract on Truck and attacks every scene in this movie like she plans to rip it apart, stuff it in her purse, and keep it.
dude,
Movie's got
she
roaring cars, big
she's
guns,
chewing
sharp
up that
suits.
scenery like it was seasoned with Old Bay. She is chewing it up. I'm telling you, you are absolutely correct. And it's funny because I would have her in the villainess category, but she is so good. She overshadows Yaphet Kotto's villain in this movie. And Yaphet is good, really good, with them suits that he's wearing. But Dorinda is
Uh,
terrifying. And you're absolutely right. She is fucking phenomenal. She's sexy. You gotta have, let's face it, in these movies, the exploitation part of it, the exploitation of the blaxploitation, where it is like, oh, you're exploiting women. What movie has that? You're exploiting black life. That's why black people are seeing it, because they're seeing themselves. And
yes.
some white people are curious to see exactly. So what do they see in themselves? And there you go. I see no problem with that. Dorinda
You
was
know,
vicious.
totally vicious. And as long as we're talking about the women now, as we slid over to that, we can't forget Coffee, another contender for favorite movie. Pam Grier, definitely female hero material, walks into Coffee with a shotgun, a razor hidden in her curls, and absolutely no patience for the men poisoning her neighborhood. By day, she's a nurse. By night, she's a fucking one woman wrecking crew tearing through drug dealers, pimps, crooked cops, and smiling politicians. She's beautiful, vulnerable, ferocious, dangerous, and Greer makes every side of her believable. And when you add in Jack Hill's hard driving direction and Roy Ayers' silky
Yes,
score,
sir. It was like the perfect gumbo. It had all the right ingredients. Coffee, in my opinion, and I said this when we did this show, Coffee is the prototype of the anti-hero. People think anti-hero now, and they're thinking of the Red Hood from DC Comics or the Punisher from Marvel Comics. Coffee did it first, and Coffee was sexier doing it. Let's be real about this. She was like Daredevil. Daredevil was a fucking lawyer by day, and then went after the criminals that slipped through the cracks at night. Where Coffee did the same thing. She saved lives. She was a nurse, but she was harboring so much anger and such distress of her sister being turned out on drugs that she went after these dudes at night by any means necessary. So I agree with you 100%. Coffee was the color. And she was all
yes,
right. And Roy Ayers' theme also banging. Oh, you gotta love Roy Ayers, man. Shout out to Roy Ayers. Banging. What about
banging.
anti-heroes?
Well, then we can go back to maybe the first blaxploitation anti-heroes. Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song. Melvin Van Peebles did not ask Hollywood for permission. He kicked the goddamn door down. He shot this picture his way and sent Sweetback running straight through American cinema after defending a young black revolutionary from these brutal fucking cops. Sweetback becomes a hunted man, racing through back alleys, deserts, biker bars, and a community which stars in the film with him that quietly helps him escape. It's raw, it's angry, it's experimental, it's sexual, and it's goddamn proudly independent. This is less of a conventional movie than a cinematic act of rebellion. It's a grimy, revolutionary howl announcing that the hero does not always have to die.
Yeah. And that's a good point. And I never thought about that. He doesn't have to die. He doesn't have to fit any molds, preconceived or otherwise, to be just that. He was first trying to just save his own skin, but then he had thought of something bigger than himself. And Melvin Van Peebles, man, this dude, you talk about someone that's willing to take it on the chin for his fucking art. You know, how many venereal diseases did he get doing these live sex scenes? He got
Oh,
hey, he got enough to get the fucking SAG to pay for it, so there you go. My thought of anti-hero would be my favorite. Ugh, this guy is incredible. Mama Walde, Blackula. He was not the villain.
Dracula.
He was a fucking anti-hero. He was a vampire in spite of himself. He was not out there trying to conquer the world. He was not out there trying to get a legion of the undead to rule the city. All this man wanted was to fucking find his reincarnated wife, Luva, and then die a peaceful death. But fate would not have that shit. And this dude did it with fucking the theatrical fucking chops of a fucking Greek tragedy. That's what this was. Blackula, don't be fooled by the name, ladies and gentlemen. This shit was a Greek tragedy covered up in fucking polyester and velour and capes and wax teeth. You get past all that, you'll go, damn, this guy loved his wife so much, especially after what was done to him, to come back into the modern world of 1970s to lose her again. I love that line. I lived twice just to lose you again. They're gonna have to put that on my fucking headstone, even though nothing like that happened to me. But it sounds fucking deep when people walk past and read that shit. They're gonna wonder, fuck's he talking about? But it's deep. What do
It
you
is
think?
deep. And I think Blackula, 1972, William Marshall takes what could have been a cheap monster movie joke and he turns it into something regal, romantic, and as you said, it's unexpectedly tragic. Prince Mamawaldi, he begins as an African nobleman seeking help against the slave trade, only to be cursed by Dracula and awakened centuries later in the funky 1970s Los Angeles. The Cape may say horror, but Marshall's voice, dignity, and sorrow make Blackula feel like a Shakespearean king trapped inside an exploitation movie. He does not simply enter the room, cool cats. This guy arrives from another century and he owns it.
Owns the room. That's exactly when you said enter the room. I'm like, nah, he never entered it. He owned the room when he showed up. You couldn't help but feel sorry for him in both Blackula as well as its sequel, Scream, Blackula, Scream. But when it comes to villains, I think my favorite male villain, just for the over the top way he does it, and since we're talking about Blackula, you can also throw in my man Count Yorga. With
Oh,
my man, I loved Morgan from Sugar Hill.
oh, Sugar Hill.
Yes,
Yes.
Morgan is such an over the top racist as an Italian mobster. That whole fucking group they should have won the Academy Award as a group. Morgan, Celeste, and all of the underlings. I had never had so much fun watching racism on film in my entire life because look, when you watch a film, it's escapism. I get it. When you see Spider-Man, you expect Spider-Man to swing from building to building, climb on walls, throw shit, throw punches, be strong, wear a costume, but still have a fucked up life outside of that suit. That's Spider-Man. In these movies, you need to have the villains think that they're the heroes as well. And Morgan thinks he's doing the right thing. And he has his guys who are just blindly following him for the money. Where Celeste, Morgan's girlfriend, holy shit, they are
Oh,
so
shit.
racist. You actually believe that these actors hate black people. That's how good they did this movie. I love it. Dude, I watch this movie at least once every 2 months. Is something wrong with me because I'm a black man watching these races and they make me laugh? They are so funny. And Morgan hates Celeste. That's the best part about it. You can tell he's with Celeste for the tits and ass and doesn't want her to say a fucking word. But Celeste is not having it. She is constantly
No.
touching him and interrupting and just being a. She thinks she's helping him. And he's like, "Don't you got somewhere else? Don't you got somewhere else to be?" And she's like,
Oh,
"No, honey."
man.
Oh, watch this movie. Oh my God, Sugar Hill is such a ball. And if you don't like anything in this movie, and trust me, you'll like everything in it, you're gonna love fucking Morgan and Celeste as the villains.
You're also going to love Don Pedro Cooley, who steals every shadow as the laughing, cane carrying Baron Zombies or Byron Samedi, depending on who's saying it. So
Right,
while
right.
zombies march with silver eyes and rusty weapon, it's revenge horror with voodoo power. There's fabulous clothes in there, wicked humor, and a heroine, Sugar Hill, Marky Bay, who lets the dead handle her light work. This is a film you watch every couple of months, and I watch it at least once a year. But the movie I watch every 2 or 3 months is JD's Revenge from
Oh,
1976. Glenn Turman from Cooley High plays Isaac. He's a quiet law student whose life gets invaded by the spirit of J.D. Walker, a murdered 1940s gangster who's got unfinished business and one mean wardrobe. As JD takes control, Isaac's voice, it changes. His suit's sharp and his temper rises, and the people around him discover that possession can arrive with serious style. Beneath the supernatural thrills, this is a story about buried history, stolen identity, violence, and old sins refusing to stay dead. Glenn Turman,
great.
man, he deserves to be in that best actor category
Yeah.
for his performance in this film. If you ever want to see a black version of DC Comics' The Joker,
Yeah.
watch Glenn
Yeah.
in JD's Revenge, man.
I mean, it took me a minute when we were doing this a couple months back. I did not connect Glenn Turman with the guy who was on A Different World, with Kadeem Hardison. But Glenn
Oh,
Turman
yeah.
starred in that. And he is such a great actor, like you said. He goes from kindly Isaac and loving his girlfriend and having his friends around. But then when fucking JD possesses his body and he puts the conch in the hair and he throws in the hat, we told that story about me in New Orleans being saved by a hat lady. This movie hits hard. Not as hard as fucking Glenn Turman's Pimp Fist, because
Oh,
he pimp slapped the shit out of his girlfriend. It's the best slap ever. Oh goodness, this movie is so good, and it ties up like any fucking sitcom ending. It just ties up so nice and tidy with all this death and destruction, and it's like, nobody's going to jail, nobody's gonna have to go to court. But it is such a good fucking movie, and it makes you want to go to New Orleans, believe it or not. Now I'm waiting for the weather to get better. Maybe me, you, and our missus can go out there and do a little sightseeing.
sounds like a plan, my friend. Maybe we could even do a show from there.
Yeah, that would be great. especially a walking tour. And
Oh, yeah.
when I think of also black horror characters, we talked about Blackula being an anti-hero. There's another anti-hero, but that's in that genre, and that's the Dr. White from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. White. Oh my god.
Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde. Bernie Casey, man, he brings class and compassion to Dr. Henry Pride. A respected physician whose experimental formula causes him to hulk out as a violent, pale-skinned, Hulk-like monster stalking the streets of Watts. It's the Jekyll and Hyde story, but filtered through race, respectability, some self-hatred, and pressure to become something society will accept. Casey, man, he kills it in this one.
Yeah, it's another one of those films, again, that if you're not paying attention, it could be a throwaway film of, okay, a monster film, a monster movie, something to, watch for a few hours and not even think about it. But this movie, like you said, is way deeper than that. I mean, this is a doctor who wanted respect. He wanted to let everybody know that he was a smart black man, that he wasn't a gangbanger. He wasn't, he escaped the streets, that he wanted to be something more. And the white establishment wanted more from him. So he was willing to take the chance on himself by taking this formula. And what happens? He metamorphosizes into technically a violent white man. He can't control himself. This is a guy who had compassion for the poor, the underserved, a prostitute that he wanted to get off the streets. But once that formula hit, everything got twisted, even for his noble causes. The noble causes got twisted. Like, yeah, he wanted to get the prostitute off the street, but at what cost to her? She had no say in this
Yeah.
shit. And then when he realized what he had become, he had to put himself in a position to be taken out because he knew that nobody else could do it. Sadly, who takes him out? The white police force. When you watch it, you're going to say, for the production values are low or it's hard to watch. But like you schooled on me, it was meant to be harsh. Like it made you want to wince your eyes until it was nighttime. And then it was like, oh, I get it. I get it. Stan Winston did some special effects makeup in this film. I mean, they probably paid him what, a bucket of chicken and some Coke 45, but it's still, you can see it and go, Stan is still the fucking man. I don't care what you say, but you got to start somewhere. And Stan was not taking jobs lightly because he was known in Hollywood, and a lot of people don't know this. Stan Winston was known for working on black films because only he, A, was willing to do the job, and B, could do special effects makeup on black skin that made it look realistic. We're talking about a guy who did Miss Jane Pittman with Cicely Tyson. He did Roots with Lou Gossett Jr. He did Chicken George. He did all that special effects makeup. I believe if Jordan Peele could have worked with him, that's who he would go to because he was the go-to guy to work on black skin. And shout out the Stan Winston group, the Stan Winston Effects Company. Shit. Just
Yeah. I
that
used to
movie.
go over there drunk all the time after my friend, Dirk and we would go to the El Torritos that was like 5, 7 minutes from his shop, and then we'd show up. I remember him showing us all sorts of little gnomes. They were like these little characters he wanted to do a film with. He was showing me the Manimal stuff once.
Did Manimal, you're right. With
Oh,
Simon
yeah, man.
McCorkindale.
How the hell do you remember
Yeah,
that?
I can't remember
Wow.
Lou fucking Gossett, but I can remember Simon motherfucking McCorkindale.
Man, we have the same brains, brother. You were mentioning that Dr. Pride and Dr. Black and Mr. White, that Dr. Pride was really trying to get out there and help the community. Well, you know what? In another movie, we had someone else trying to help the community, Reverend D in Cotton Comes to Harlem, but he was a fucking crook.
Yes, sir.
This is the film that introduced the world to Chester Hines's Coffin Ed Johnson and Gravedigger Jones, two Harlem detectives. And in this film, they're trying to recover the stolen money. It's hidden in a bale of cotton and keeps running from one hustle to another. Godfrey Cambridge and Raymond St. Jacques make a beautiful team. They're dangerous and completely at home in the neighborhood they police. Ozzie Davis fills these streets with hustlers and militants, cops, con artists, and Red Fox collecting junk. It's a detective story, a community comedy, a Harlem street parade, all packed into one funky caper, and all of it works.
Great film. And Deke was played by Calvin Lockhart.
Calvin Lockhart, the most charismatic man in film.
Yep. Calvin Lockhart, he had that voice, had that delivery where you went, he's black, but he's something else. What is he? I think he was from Barbados. And he was such a great actor, and everything he did, he put out 100%. Like he had this small role. Took me a minute when I was younger, when I seen Predator 2, when they went to see King Willie with Danny Glover in the alleyway. I'm like, that voice sounds familiar. Who the fuck is that guy? And it was Calvin Lockhart with dreadlocks, who had his head cut off, and
Yeah.
the Predator walked away with it. But like you were saying, Cotton comes to Harlem at Godfrey Cambridge, Calvin Lockhart, Raymond St. Jacques, who fucking is one of the most underrated black actors ever. The incomparable, sexy Judy Pace, Red Fox. Cleavon Little had a small role in here before he became Sheriff Bart.
That's right. This is before Temperatures Rising.
Yes, sir. Helen Martin, when she was on 227, always hanging out the window. This movie was loaded with, again, Blaxploitation films have a habit of doing this, giving us way too much talent. I mean, even in the second tier, when it comes to second tier actors, you get like Theodore Wilson, who is also on fucking Sanford and Son. Tommy Lane, one of the greatest black stuntmen ever, who did work on Star Trek and countless other films. Leonardo Scimo. You need a fucking Greek? Get Leonardo. Need an Italian? Get Leonardo. Get a fucking
Leonardo.
old man? Get Leonardo. It's like, that motherfucker did everything.
Oh, man. It's a funny movie. You know what? Talking about funny movies, we covered one experimental film in Sweetback, but we covered another
Oh,
experimental
no.
radical film
Love it.
that is fucking funny as hell. The Radical Revolutionary, Putney Swope,
You turned me on to
1969,
that film.
directed by Robert Downey Sr. That's right. Dr. Doom's daddy, Iron Man's daddy, directed this flick, man. When a lone black executive at a Madison Avenue advertising agency is accidentally elected chairman of the board, Putney Swope fires nearly everybody, renames the company Truth and Soul Incorporated, and turns television commercials into a revolutionary theater. It's a satire. It swings at racism, capitalism, advertising, political movements, corporate hypocrisy, and anybody else careless enough to stand nearby. Arnold Johnson, the shoeshine guy from Shaft, plays Putney with deadpan authority, while the movie becomes increasingly wild and insane around him. It's funny. It's still sharp enough to make modern advertising executives loosen their collars. I cannot recommend this movie enough. Give it a chance.
It is one of the most amazing films that I have never seen this movie till you turned me on to it last year. And I was like, with the name, what is Johnny Depp trying to sell all here? I watched that movie and I was so glad to be able to see it on Prime. I watched it 3 times in a row where my eyes had dried tears on my face before I went to bed because I started watching it at 7 p.m. I think my last viewing was at 1:30 in the morning, and I could not stop laughing. You brought it up, and I got tears in my eyes, and I'm laughing now. Antonio Fargas, who always plays the fucking lovable loser in every film. In this one, he's actually like a problem. He's a fucking nutcase in this film. Arnold Jackson, like you said, played Putney, but did not do the voice because he didn't sound black enough. So nothing's funnier than having Robert Downey Sr., Dr. Doom's daddy, try to use a black voice, and it's funny through the whole thing. You're not insulted by it. It fits well with this film, and then you go, who would have thought a few decades later that his son would play a black man in a war movie?
Ugh. And he's
and
kind of doing the same
he's doing the
voice.
same voice.
Yes.
It is
Freaking
Putney
amazing.
Swope is my favorite dude. I have to I can't believe I didn't put that on one of my lists, but it is one of my favorite fucking movies of all time. With Pepe Hermine, the fucking midget that was the president of the United States. That shit is so fucking funny. And our favorite, bad guy, Alan Arbus as Mr. Bad News. With the what
Yes.
he's always the white guy with the Jew fro. it is the funniest movie, and we're not making these categories up with this film. That's what they are. Marlene Clark
No
has
hyperbole.
she's all sexy in this film. Marlene Clark is in everything. She's gorgeous. It's just a fucking awesome film. Marlene Clark, for those who won't remember, she was in Enter the Dragon. She was Roper's fucking secretary when he was golfing, and they gave her, what, $35 or some shit out of his account before the mob came and broke his kneecaps. She was married to Billy D. Williams, sexy as hell. But, oh my God, you bring this film up. I think I'm watching Putney Snope just to go to sleep tonight. And trust me, I won't fall asleep watching it because the movie is fucking insane. Get your dudes. Whatever you do to chill. If it's weed, if it's a glass of wine, it's a couple shots. If you snort some shit, that's all on you. But do it while watching Putney Snope. You don't need to do it to make it funny, but it fucking helps. It is a funny fucking film. I told brothers and sisters out there on the street, watch Putney Snope. And they're like, what is it about? I said, I can't tell you. Because it's an ad agency and then it just steers off the railroad. It's just so fucking funny, and you will never forget. And I think we should make t-shirts. How many syllables,
How many
Mario?
syllables, Mario?
They're great. I love this movie. I mean, you had me watch some shit that I was like, okay, this is a little fucking, but again, after I watched it and I got my mind fresh and you gave me the history on some shit, I like to know some shit. I like to learn shit. And that's why I'm glad I hooked up with you, because you tell me some shit that I never really thought of. Like, I heard of the legend of Nigger Charlie, but I never really looked at it the way you looked at it. And I think that's why our show works, because you're looking at it from a director's perspective, because you directed film. And you also look at it from a white person's perspective, because I think you're white. I hate to break it to you. and
What?
I look at it as a black guy who lived in the fucking, not the hood. I lived in like between both worlds. I was like fucking Tarzan, for crying out loud. I had white people to the left of me, black people to the right, and everybody wanted to be part of it, and so I didn't know what group to hang out with, so I hung out with everything. But when I watched Nigger Charlie, like you said, people were so either turned off by the title or were seduced by it in a weird way. And then when you watch this film, it is, this is a great segue, by the way, that it starts off from, a slave rebellion, a slave escape, and it turned into a fucking Western and in all the good ways. I mean, and like, this was what? His first film?
It's not only his first film, his first time on a horse, his first time even holding a gun, let alone shooting it, and probably his first time eating hardtack and beans.
And you know what? That was another one of the films you suggested. And I went along, literally for the ride. Took me a while to find it. And I was not disappointed. I really thought that film was good. I liked it even more when we did the podcast and when we put together our little presentation of, nigga Charlie and his buddies riding into the sunset. I just thought, like, you know
Yeah.
what? This is another part of American history that they don't like to talk about or make films about. We were everywhere that white people was. And I don't know why it is made in a world that is, so whitewashed that some certain people in Hollywood are afraid of that shit. Like people go to the rodeo now and they're wearing their boots and their hats and their buckles and all that shit was the accoutrement of a slave. And it wasn't a positive thing. They wore those big hats to keep the sun out of their face and off the nap of their back. They wore those buckles to hold on to those fucking chaps that they had to wear for fucking 13 hours out of the day, breaking cows and breaking fucking bulls and wild stallions and shit. Now it's fucking entertainment, and white people can sing and dance to it. It's amazing what white people can do.
It's amazing the breadth of these films. I mean, we go from experimental stuff to literally Blaxploitation Avengers. We've talked a couple of times now about Fred Williamson, but I think we throw Jim Kelly and Jim Brown into the mix, and you get Three the Hard Way in 1974. They have to stop a white supremacist organization from poisoning the water supplies of black communities. And man, Jim Brown, he brings the muscle. Williamson brings the swagger and crazy gun. And Jim Kelly, he brings enough high kicks to solve problems no one else can reach.
Great film. Again, when I watched this film as a younger teenager, child, I took it for what it was that I thought it was. I was like, oh man, this is kind of crazy. But you got three black superheroes out there and they split up and they got to stop this evil plan, very James Bondish. Then you go fast forward 2026 and you're like, holy shit, this shit is kind of real. Where white supremacists taking over fucking the whole inner workings of the fucking country, how they want to poison the water supply to make black men and black women sterile so they can't reproduce. And it's all over fear of being replaced. Black people never said we want to replace nobody. This is shit white people said in this movie, which are now being said in the real world. And it's funny how films of the past come up in the present and you go, holy shit, that shit wasn't too far off the beaten path. Now, was it? I tell everybody, to read anything from Philip K. Dick and watch anything from Philip K. Dick. This writer didn't have a long life because he was so troubled what was going on in his mind. So he put it down on paper and he did a lot of acid. But a lot of Philip K. Dick shit is coming true. You know what I mean?
It is. It is.
But to get back on track, speaking of track, best soundtrack, I instinctively put down Shaft. I'm thinking, Shaft is probably the best soundtrack. And I'm
It's the
sorry.
most iconic.
It may be the most
But
iconic,
Superfly.
but it's not the best soundtrack. And you said it. Superfly is the best soundtrack.
And Ron O'Neal is Youngblood Priest. He's a Harlem cocaine dealer with perfect hair, expensive clothes, and one last major score planned before he can escape the game. Now, Priest slides through the city like a king, but the deeper he looks, the clearer it becomes that the throne is sitting inside a cage. Gordon Parks Jr. gives this thing grit, while Curtis Mayfield's brilliant soundtrack comments on the action, questions the fantasy, and sometimes it tells the truth more clearly than the characters. Cool on the surface, it's complicated underneath. That's Superfly.
That is the best. In my opinion, one of the top tier. And we're talking about a genre that is known for great soundtracks from Shaft, Truck Turner to Coffee. Blackula had one of the greatest instrumentals of all time. I love that theme song. Cleopatra Jones had a good theme song. Shaft was iconic, but Superfly told that story. You got more, like we said in that podcast we did on Superfly, you can cut off the lights, smoke them if you got them, pour yourself a nice good drink, sit in your beanbag chair, look at your fucking glow in the dark fucking posters, and just listen to the soundtrack. And that movie will appear in your mind like fucking magic. Curtis Mayfield used everything that was available to him because he learned that, I believe, by watching Shaft, with a lot of great orchestra movements in these songs. And it told the story. Something that music today sadly misses. It tells the story. Shaft even told the story. You know what I mean? It wasn't much of a story to tell, but it told the story of the sex machine that with all the chicks and shit. And Superfly was the name of the drug. That this shit was so good. This cocaine was so smooth, was so silky. It was super. It was super fly. And that's where that came from. And that is a great, great soundtrack. We got 2 more I want to talk about, 3 more rather. What do you think
Let's
for
go
fight?
for it.
What do you think for fight scene? What's your favorite fight scene? Because there's a lot of them.
There's too many. What are you thinking?
I mean, we could have Chuck Turner and his partner fighting in that bar, beating the shit out of people, then making them take their pants off. That's a good one. Watching Celeste and Sugar Hill fight in Sugar Hill's bar. That's a great one where the bartender's handing out bottles so they can cut each other. That fucking shit is great. But especially with the fucking audio commentary that they both were giving each other. Oh my God, chef's kiss. Because, not too many people talk shit when they fighting, but these 2 chicks, they got it in, man. They was calling each other crackers and niggas and left, right, and center, and they gave a 0 fucks who was around. It was fantastic. And they fought like men. They didn't cat scratch or nothing. We got that in Coffee. A lot of cat scratching when they fought at the party.
Oh, yeah.
In Coffee, they had a good fight scene there. But oh my God, we had a lot of great fight scenes. And of course, Jim Kelly in anything, when he's fighting, he's like the highlight of that. The other 2 cats were known for pulling out guns. They even gave him a gun. Remember, they gave him a gun. And he goes, "What am I supposed to do with this?"
Yeah, he doesn't use a gun, but you hear that gunshot go off at the end of
Yeah,
3 the Hard
like,
Way, and you
okay,
know it's
did he
him.
shoot somebody or what?
Yeah, yeah. So we've got Sugar and Celeste and Coffee versus King George's Women, Black Belt Jones and Sydney versus the Mob. Hey, we can't forget Dolomite and his
Oh,
Kung Fu Women
yeah.
versus Willie Green's Goons.
That was a good fight scene, especially when you see Dolomite will be swapped in with a stunt man. Every other fucking scene is fucking hilarious. And
Well, let's
I put Dolomite down for worst black stereotype.
I think you might be right there as far as fight the scenes. Well, look, nobody watches the Dolomite fight looking for flawless technique. You
Right.
watch for Rudy Ray Moore's confidence, the visible lack of any preparation or rehearsal, the sound effects, and Queen Bee's women joining the battle like a private army of kung fu avengers. They were all girls from a kung fu school. Then Cleopatra Jones, the junkyard showdown
Yeah, that was good too.
is pretty damn great. And then I got a really good one that we can't forget. Mr. Keys versus the Crooked Cops in 3 the Hard Way. Jim Kelly versus what was it, like 7
Oh,
cops?
and that in a windstorm.
Yeah. There goes the hat.
But yeah, this is just a taste of 12 months of this that we've been at it. And we really enjoy it, if you could tell, but just the way we talk about these films and how we're the glee in our voices. We really enjoy these films. And what's the what's the best film you think we've seen so far, not to be put on your list yet, as a film, technically, acting wise, the whole shebang bang, the choreography, everything that you could watch, you could tell any friend to watch this film. not as a blaxploitation film, but as a film.
I'm gonna immediately go to either Truck Turner or maybe Shaft's Big Score.
I
Oh,
would go
wait a second. Across 110th Street.
there it is, you got it. You got
Yeah,
it.
Cool Cats. This one takes the crown because Across 110th Street, it's more than a tough crime picture. It's bruised. It's street level. It's a tragedy about race, power, desperation, corruption, and survival. Yaphet Kotto brings intelligence and authority. Anthony Quinn is a frickin' brute, bringing the weight of an old system that's fighting to stay alive. And every gangster, hustler, and cop feels like they're trapped inside the same unforgiving city. And then you throw in Bobby Womack's unforgettable title song. Oh, man. A
This
story where nobody walks away clean.
this film, like you said, it checks all the boxes. Great acting, great cinematography, better cinematography than it deserves. You watch this film, and if we didn't tell you the name of it and we just played it, you probably thought you were watching Homicide: Life on the Streets because of, Yaphet's connection. It is done that well, but better than a TV show because they filmed a lot of this guerrilla style. And like you said, nobody walks out of this film clean. You yourself as the viewer may want to take a shower when it's done because it's so fucking hard hitting and so sad at the end in a way. But yeah, that's the film I would tell anybody who's not a fan of these type of films. I'll say watch this and take the whole blaxploitation moniker off of it and tell us what you think. And they will come off with something positive, without a doubt,
May
especially
not
with the
be the
talent in front of
flashiest
the camera.
picture.
Yep. The talent in front of the camera and the talent behind the camera, fucking chef's kiss. Great fucking film. And we're going to close this show with my favorite fashion designs. What show you think had the best favorite fashions?
Oh man, Superfly, but then you get Fabulous in Sugar Hill. Candy Tangerine Man, that
You're
Rolls
right.
Royce is part of the outfit. Ah,
Coffee.
just so many riches.
Coffee had
Coffee.
some
Oh
great
my God.
costumes.
King George.
King George, Cleopatra Jones in the Casino of Gold. She was in a different fucking costume each scene you seen her in. And
Every
they
time.
just kept getting better. So yeah, they stretched the fashion and then some. They went beyond. So yeah, again, these films, like it pisses me off when they get put in a category as schlock or as cheap. And maybe they were schlock and maybe they were cheap, but they had the writer, director, and the actors had something to say. They didn't fucking, if anything you could tell these films were, they didn't just go through the motions. They fucking lived it. They went through it. And I think cinema is better for it.
Agreed. 100%. And I guess that should probably wrap up this show, but we're going to be back presenting our Blaxploitation Citation Awards.
You can vote as well. Like Johnny Depp says, he's going to give you the Gmail
Yeah.
site. You can go on Facebook. You can go on YouTube and tell us who you think. And you can come up with your own fucking category. If we pick it, you give us your name, address, and we'll send you a shirt. And again, my friend, I'm glad we made it through a year. And we got a couple more years to go on this shit as long as this train is still rolling.
Oh, we are just getting started.
Yes, sir.
And wait till you see what we have planned when we come back.
A lot of people ask me, there's not a lot of these films out there. I'm like, you're not paying attention. Yeah. And if you believe that we're done, we are just getting started. So
Hell yeah.
come visit us again. Again, YouTube, Facebook, Google, Spotify. Come and see us. Same black time.
Same black channel. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, cool cats, bad mamas, hustlers, heroes. bloodshedders, detectives, funketeers, and kung fu queens. Tonight, the red carpet is black, the champagne is cold, and the competition is deadly. It's the first annual Blaxploitation Citation Award! Listen. 1 year deep and we're still on the scene, talking mean machines and the baddest queens. From Harlem streets to the midnight show, we break down the films that made the culture glow. Afros high and the Cadillacs clean, platform shoes stepping straight through the screen. Heroes, villains, lovers and lies, every week another classic gets analyzed. Nubius Black got the history stacked, Johnny Depp brings the jokes and the facts. Two cool brothers with the microphone mission, keeping black cinema in perfect condition. It's been 1 year of Black Death 101. We came for the movies, but we stayed for the fun. Raise that trophy, let the good times roll, for the films with the fire, the funk, and the soul. It's the Citation Awards. Everybody stand for the coolest cats in all the land, from the heroes to the villains getting things done. Celebrate 1 year of Black Death 101. The soundtrack that shook the room, who wore the fire suit and brought the boom, who threw the best punch, who delivered that line, who made being dangerous look so damn fine. Best hero walking with the righteous stride, best villain smiling while the bodies pile, best fight scene, best fashion design, best horror creature creeping after midnight. Some movies were brilliant, some were absurd, some had the wildest dialogue ever heard, but every single film brought something to say about black life, black pride, and finding a way. It's been 1 year of Black Death 101. We came for the movies, but we stayed for the fun. Raise that trophy, let the good times roll, for the films with the fire, the funk, and the soul. It's the Citation Awards. Everybody stand for the coolest cats in all the land, from the heroes to the villains getting things done. Celebrate 1 year of Black Death 101. Hey! Black Death 101. Now that's a serious situation.
We came through Shad, Blackula and Coffee, Cleopatra Jones looking stylish and bossy. Truck Turner, Rolling Dolomite, talk slick. Black Caesar, Rose and Charleston Blue did his trick. From Sugar Hill to across a 1 and 10th Street, every movie brought the rhythm and heat. The good, the bad, the strange and outrageous. Black cinema forever.
Remember, the winners may take home this citation, but everybody leaves with a little more appreciation.